My first black grouper took me deep into Brazil. A country that blew my mind, but rough seas that felt more like home made for a challenging trip with unexpected encounters and humbling lessons from the people we met along the way. After days and days of searching what I was here for, it all came down to the last dive of the trip.
I feel Brazil is quite underrated in general as a spearfishing destination, at least it was for me. It's a huge country, and because of that you have a huge variety of scenarios and also species, and this was something that I wasn't aware at all. In the same country and sometimes even in the same area, you can get huge cuberas, groupers, snook, what they call robalo, and also you go a few miles out and you get mahis, tunas, even marlin. It was quite a surprise to find, how special it can be.
But Brazil also has a very angry, challenging side. And of course, that's what I found. I came to Paraty without knowing anything about it. I had a quick look at the charts in the morning and got out with Rui, companion on many adventures. I was amazed by how spectacular the coastline is. Through beautiful bays full of little islands with no one out, we drove east towards the most exposed area I could find.
So today is our first day. The conditions are pretty good, no winds, but there's a little bit of swell. The visibility is not too good. It's quite similar to what we have at home actually, and I'm quite excited.
By good conditions, I mean 5 meters viz in the best places, pretty decent swell all along the coastline, and a crazy cold thermal climb below 8 meters. The structure though was quite impressive. And I really tried to push through the cold, looking for my grouper into promising caves. But it was dead. All the life seemed to be above the coals in the shallows. So I changed my strategy. I found this area that looked more promising. It was full of baits, and you could feel a big predator could be around. There was also some strange creatures that we don't have in Portugal, like this angelfish. My black grouper would have to wait for now, but these are prime grounds for snook, another dream fish of mine. And I found one in the shallows straight away. I couldn't believe it. I actually love diving with these conditions at home, so I felt quite comfortable here.
Primeiro robalinho, porra!
This is how we hunt for sea bass, which is the Portuguese version of snook. This is one of my favorite fish to hunt. We also call them robalo, like they do in Brazil, by the way. So this made me confident on a strategy that was actually quite inappropriate for what I wanted, which now was a giant snook.
I thought if I applied a similar strategy to what we use at home here, I would have success.
And I kinda did. I kept finding small snook in the shallows, which kept my hopes alive.
So for pretty much the whole week, I dove in the wide water, bad visibility, exposed areas, diving every day to land maybe 1 or 2 fish. I was still lucky to catch, some fun fish. I got my first big permit.
With a light setter, I was just begging for my line to hold. You know that feeling if you're a Spearo. I even asked for a completely unnecessary second shot.
Finally, first permit. This is a fish that I wanted to get for quite a while now. I shot it right in the middle. Yeah, just exploring places that we don't really know about, spending a few days here. E a seguir vamos ver se o Rui apanha alguma, quer ver?
It was Rui's turn now, and we found some promising boulders, where he shot his first snook. Tiny guy, but perfect for the grill we do later. We had some fun exploring this place, but he did not get a permit, and eventually I found out why I did not get my big snook.
At the end of the week, I met a local guy, Neto, that showed that I was doing everything wrong, pretty much. They get those huge fish in the shallows, inside the bays, and I would never guess that would be the case. And you know, this is one of the humbling things about traveling. You might think you're a good diver at home, and therefore you believe that if you replicate the same technique in other places you'll succeed, but that's not the case. And I feel that's, you know, one of the big lessons about traveling. It keeps you humble for sure.
We had one last dinner in Paraty before moving to Bahia, the next stop of our journey.
Está quase a modos, fresquinhos, vieram há bocadinho do mar, nada assim de especial, mas sempre uns peixinhos para fazer com os amigos e partilhar, e passamos aqui uns bons momentos. Cada vez aproveito mais esse lado, não só insanidade da faina, mas apreciar o lifestyle, o overall, estás a ver? Estar aqui num sítio espetacular, muito bonito, e apesar da pesca não ter sido assim nada extraordinária, é sempre fixe ir e apanhar os peixinhos e depois vir e grelhar e estar com os amigos, passar assim os momentos mais chill.
O peixinho do Brasil está aprovado?
É chato de apanhar, mas o prato é bem bom.
The goal from the beginning was to go to Bahia, which was the main goal of me being in Brazil this time. And there, Badejo, the Brazilian black grouper, it's definitely the most iconic fish. I would say Bahia is a world-class place for them. You have huge size fish in quite shallow, you know, accessible depths. And actually, I had traveled before to try to get one. You know, I've been in Florida and the Bahamas, and they're not easy to get.
Conditions were yet again not on our side, with the weather getting worse and worse as we moved away from shore. But the stoke levels were way too high for that to matter. And now we were not going blind. We were there with the support of two local agents. On the left, our friendly-looking Ligio, the deckmate for Rivelino, a commercial Spearo with over 40 years of experience that has shot anything you could possibly imagine in this region.
O mar está um pouco mexido devido à maré grande, nós estamos com a maré muito grande, a primeira maré do ano, né? E aqui dá bastante peixe de passagem, aqui dá uns badejos maior, entendeu? E o lugar aqui é bem tranquilo, vai ser uma experiência bem legal.
Rivelino is a real one. When your ability to feed your family depends on knowing how to fish, you become a different kind of Spearo. I could not wait to learn from him. Conditions weren't ideal, with a bit of current and hazy visibility. But I just love exploring new grounds, especially with the expectation of finding iconic fish.
The structure, it's super impressive. You have these huge coral heads full of cracks and holes and gutters. And you know, it's a completely different environment than what we just had. You see bait, and you would expect for it to be easy to find the groupers as well. But this is not the case. Even though there's way more really big fish here than in the Bahamas, for example, I felt it was way harder to find them here. So me and Rui started diving, as we would, for example, in the Azores, looking inside the holes, and we see everything but groupers.
We did find some dog snapper though. They love caves, and after a few dives, we found some swimming in the sand too. Their name comes from these massive canine teeth, which gives them just a badass look. I decided to lay on the bottom and try my luck here. I was happy with my snapper, but surprised we could not see one grouper. And then I learned yet again that local knowledge is everything. When we jumped in, Rivelino not only marked the spot next to us, but it is something that is an absolute game changer.
You take some big barrels full of bait, big chunks. You put them inside a plastic bag, so quite a lot of big pieces. You go to the bottom, put it in one specific area. You're not spreading out. Basically, you want to make sure that all the bait, it's very concentrated in one spot. And then, you wait 10, 15 minutes, and it's very impressive. You can dive in the same rock for like an hour and not see anything. And then in 10 minutes, now it was full of groupers. The first time that Rivelino did it, I shot my first fish.
I went over the ledge on Rivelino's advice, carefully snooping over it, and there they were. 2 black groupers circling the area. They were not the biggest, but I was not gonna miss the opportunity on my first black grouper. As you can see, the grouper tries to go straight into the hole, so it's very important not only to go for a good shot, but to keep the pressure straight away. These caves are endless and they can get rocked up really bad here.
Perfect eating size, my first black grouper, so I was still quite happy about it, even though it wasn't a huge fish. Then it was Rui's turn.
On this one, Rivelino got into action and helped Rui with the fight. Spearfishing can be considered an individual sport, but I personally love teamwork, and in this case, to share this with a local legend made each capture even more special.
We stopped shooting groupers. By now we were just kind of enjoying and trying to understand, if we could find a bigger one.
You need to be able to pass on the small fish to get something special. But it's even more than that. Deciding not to pull the trigger puts you in a bit of a different mindset, and you can truly appreciate these animals in a different way. They're in fact very cool creatures. We kept diving in different areas, working together with Rivelino, and even found a big one later in the day, but with no chance. They might seem easy targets on some videos, but that is definitely not always the case. This big boy kept its distance, never to be seen. And just like that, the day was almost over. The last spot held 2 surprises. In a very specific rock that only Rivelino knows, lives an interesting species that he keeps just for special guests. This was a really cool gift, and we were super grateful for it. But we would find something even more special on the very last dive of the trip.
This was the last coral head at the end of the day. I went down with really no expectations. Last dive of the day, just see what was down there. And then there's this big crack. And as I'm looking to the crack, like on the left, then I look to the right, and there's this massive fish just like sitting next to me. When we have eye contact, the fish just shoots down to the gutter. I was lucky, I hit it just behind the eye. Started pulling pressure, me and Rivelino, pressure, pressure, pressure. If you let this fish go inside the hole, it can be a mess. Classic, last dive of the day, no expectation. When you're hoping maybe to see a 10 kilos fish, there it was, 30 kilos plus black grouper. My first and only proper size black grouper, and I was pretty happy about it. This is a fish that I've been wanting to get for many, many, many years now. Yeah, it has a special meaning. Very happy.